everyone, Marie here again from Marie Cooks Up a Good New Life. It's a good life, but it's also a new life. That's the name of my channel here on YouTube. On this channel, I try to cook things that I think you might enjoy, share things also that you might enjoy, all my hints and tips, my tried and trues, and things that I think you might be interested in. If you're new here today, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I love to see you, or well, I don't really see you, but I love to share these things with you. And I really appreciate you coming back to see what I'm cooking up. Generally speaking, I try to do one video a week. I'm not very good at it. I keep saying that. I keep trying to get better, but, well, you know, old dog, new tricks. I'm just not, I just don't seem to be able to cotton on to how these younger people catch on so quickly to things like this. They are able to add music and preludes and notes and all these other things, whereas all I know how to do is just to press tape or record and wing it. Anyhow, I do appreciate you coming, and I appreciate those who've been here before coming back. If you like what you see here today, do give me a thumbs up. Share the video if you feel so impressed. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And best of all, leave a comment below. I really love to hear from you, and I love to hear what your thoughts are. Now, I wanted to do a recipe today that it's not necessarily festive, although it is very popular in the UK at this time of the year, but it's popular in the UK any time of year. Personally, I tend to make these only once a year around Christmas time because they make great nibbles. And the recipe that I'm sharing with you today is for sausage rolls. Sausage rolls. They are a very popular snack food in the UK. There's a bakery, I don't know what you would call them. Anyways, Greg's. It's a bake shop named Greg's, and they sell millions of sausage rolls every year. Children stop off at convenience stores on the way home from school to pick up a cheeky sausage roll on their way home. You can buy them in the grocery store, usually 5 for a pound, which is, I think, probably close to $2 here in Canada. Anyways, they are usually the ones that you buy ready-made. Well, it depends. Depends on where you're buying them. They can range anywhere from nasty to excellent. It just all depends on where you're going to. But homemade ones are always the best. So they're very simple to make. They use only a very few ingredients. And so I thought I would share them with you here today. And the recipe that I'm going to use today is one that I got from my friend Joy, probably about 10 years ago. My husband at the time and I were down visiting her and her late husband, Simon, and she had made these sausage rolls, and they were absolutely delicious. So I thought I would share them with you today. So I'm going to put you down here so you can see what I'm doing instead of looking at this noggin here, and we'll get started. Here we go. Let's see here. There we go. The first thing you're going to need is, now I'm only making a half a recipe because I've already pre-done a half a recipe. So, but I will give you the quantities as I go along as if I was using a full recipe. So the quantities that you're going to need is 500 grams of good quality sausage meat, which is about a little more than a pound of, a generous pound of good quality sausage meat. So you want to just crumble that into the bowl. Now, you're going to add to that a large onion, finely chopped. Now, I've started chopping an onion here. I'm going to just chop it up a little bit finer. You don't want it in too big of a chunks. You want the chunks to be fairly fine. That's too big. So what are some of your favorite things that you like to make at Christmas for your family? Treats and snacks and nibbles and things things that they enjoy during the holiday. Leave a comment down below. I'd really like to know what they are. I'm interested. I've always been interested in food and what people do and what their traditions are. So I think this is finely minced now. So I'm going to just add that to the bowl with the sausage meat. Put that aside. You're also going to need 1 large free-range egg. Well, I use free-range, but 1 large egg, lightly beaten. I'm only going to use half of this because, as I said, I'm only making a half a recipe at this point in time. And I'll save the rest for an egg wash at the end. You will also need 90 grams or 3/4 cup of fine dry breadcrumbs. Now I've used panko, which I put in my spice grinder to make fine because the panko itself was a little bit too stiff. And that's it for your filling. Now, I've always found the best thing to use when it comes to mixing up things like this is your hands. Oh, a pinch of salt and pepper. Sorry, I almost forgot. So there's a bit of pepper. I like mine a little bit peppery. And depending on your sausage meat, you may not need very much salt. I don't like them too salty. So you're going to just get your hands in there and start mixing this up until it's well combined. Aren't hands beautiful things? We're so lucky that we were born with them. They help us to do all kinds of things. I don't know what I would do without mine. My right shoulder has been really sore for the last couple of weeks. I don't know what I did to it. I don't know if I slept poorly on it or what, but I've had a great deal of difficulty reaching for things and reaching behind my back. However, things like this are not that hard to do. So just mix that up until you've got it evenly blended. Now you're also going to need a pound, approximately 500 grams of ready roll all butter puff pastry. I'm just going to wash my hands off before I take that out. Sorry for that. Now I like to use all butter puff pastry, and this is the brand that I use here in Canada. It's already rolled out. It comes frozen, just thaw it out in the refrigerator overnight. You'll need like this whole package to make the full recipe of the sausage rolls. In the UK, the brand that I used to use was Just Roll, and if you're really keen, you can make it from scratch. And you don't necessarily have to use puff pastry, but if you want to be authentic, you should use puff pastry. So I've got mine in the fridge because it's important that your pastry is really cold when you work with it. Because puff pastry, when it's warm, is very difficult to work with. I'm going to get it out. So here we have it. I'll unwrap it. Now here in Canada, it's a little bit shaped a little bit differently. It's more like a square, but that's okay. It'll suit our needs perfectly. So you're going to unroll it. And then divide it into thirds. Now I like to use a pizza cutter for this. Does a quick job and a perfect job. Now, you're going to take your sausage filling and divide it into approximately 3 equal amounts. Okay, so you're going to want to place the sausage meat in a line down the center of each strip of puff pastry. I made these for my sister and father and Dan the first year that I was home for Christmas, and they really enjoyed them. And my sister's been making them ever since. They're really only as good as the sausage meat that you choose to use to make them with. So I do recommend that you use a quality one. My sister and I sometimes make our own sausage. And that's really fun. It's a lot of work, but it's really fun. Well, I'll just stick this over here for now. Put that out of the way. Okay. These are really nice sausage rolls. They're filled quite generously, but not overly so. They're not meant to be a meal. They're just meant to be a bit of a snack. A little bit short-ended here. Take a little bit from these other ones to make up the difference. Okay. Now I have some egg here, and what you're going to want to do is brush egg down one side of each strip of pastry, which I'm doing here. And then you're going to take the sides and pull it up over to cover the sausage meat. And it's okay if you stretch it a little bit here, because you want the sausage meat to be completely covered, and you want the pastry to overlap a bit when you get it over top. So just overlap it a tiny bit, stretching it as you go. So you don't want any of the sausage to escape while it's cooking, baking. One. These are really fun. I really enjoy making them. You can make them ahead of time and pop them into the freezer, either baked or unbaked, and then just either take them out and bake them on the day that you want to serve them, thawing them out first, of course, or you can just thaw them out if you've already pre-baked them. They're a very good party food. You'll find that if you make these, they'll go rather quickly. And if you're planning on serving them as nibbles, you'd want to cut them into fairly short-ish pieces. And the last one. You can see they're not really that hard. They're a very simple make, and they're really delicious when they're done. You know, you've got the puff pastry and the sausage meat, and oh, very, very yummy. So I've got them there. I'm going to cut them first. So I like to cut mine into quarters, so and then you're going to want to snip them a little bit. A couple of snips on the top with some kitchen scissors, just to make sure that the steam is let out when they're baking. Some of these are a little bit more generous than others, but that's okay. People won't mind. So now I've got a baking sheet here, And I'm going to transfer these to the baking sheet. And you can see where they start to soften rather quickly, the puff pastry. So you need to work fairly fast. Place them seam side down on your baking tray. It's a little bit difficult to do this one-handed now that I've done that much. I can move the tray over to the counter. Could have probably done these. I've got this tray, it's been lined with baking parchment, and you will want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees or 220 degrees centigrade before you start. So now that these are on the tray and snipped and everything, I'm going to just brush them lightly with some of the egg wash. So the egg wash is usually just a beaten egg with a little bit of water added. Which just sort of lightens it a bit. So just brush that lightly over top. Right, so there they are, ready to go into the oven. Whoops. You're trying to run away from me. Ready to go into the oven. So 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 degrees centigrade, and they'll bake for approximately 12 to 15 minutes. Put my timer on here. And as I said, I made some earlier. I made half the recipe earlier so that you could see what they look like when they're done. So you don't have to wait around to see what, you know, for 15 minutes or so waiting for them to come out of the oven. They're beautiful and brown, crisp, golden. I checked mine, the temperature of mine inside with a meat thermometer. Just poke it into the side here where the meat filling is, and if it registers 160 to 165 degrees, you know that they are done. So these are all ready to enjoy. You just pop them out onto a, and they're still nice and warm too. Pop them onto a nice little, do you like this? 'Twas the bite before Christmas. Pop them onto a little plate or a big plate, depending on how many people you've got with you. And they're ready to serve. And that's sausage rolls. Very simple to make, delicious, and something that I thought you would enjoy. I just draw my hands here. I thought you might like to see me enjoying one of these. Like I said, they are really tasty. And these are just the right size. Let's see. That's, sorry, my mother taught me not to eat with my mouth full. That's really delicious. A beautiful meaty filling, rich and flaky pastry. Delicious. So that's my recipe for today. I hope you enjoy it and that you'll be inspired to want to make some of these delicious sausage rolls for yourself. And I hope that you'll come back next time, because my next video, I hope that I'm going to decorate my Christmas cake. It will only be a week before Christmas. Can you believe it? 2 weeks from today is Christmas Day. The time is just flying by. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and that you're having a good day already. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe. And leave a comment below. I'm really interested in what you have to say. In the meantime, I will close this video as I always do with an I love you. And don't forget, God loves you too. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.